Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just Talk with Gabe. I'm here, my sidekick is here. So is our guest. Let's get started. Who do we have on today's show?
Today we have singer JORDANA of EARTH.
I can't wait to hear all about her. But before we get started, let's give a shout out to our sponsors, Fade Life Clothing and Link PR. Fade Life Clothing is a unique clothing line out of Atlanta, Georgia, geared towards those who love intoxicating style.
And Link PR is definitely the missing link to your success in the entertainment industry.
I'm glad both Fade Life Clothing and Link PR are back for another season. Now then, go grab your snacks, sit back, relax, and as always, enjoy the show!
What's up? It's Lance Alexander. I recently launched a new health and wellness book entitled From Junk to Hunk. After completing my own journey of losing over 70 pounds, I realized the mental transformation was far greater than the physical changes, and that going from junk to hunk could apply to any goal. By clearing out the junk, which is anything negative or toxic towards that goal, like distractions, you transform into a hunk, which is a stronger, better version of you. Get From Junk to Hunk at FromJunkToHunk.com.
Jordana, welcome to the show. We're glad you could join us today.
Thank you for having me. Hi.
Thank you for being on. All right, let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us how you got started in the music industry.
So I've been multidisciplinary my whole life. So my background sort of growing up always was balance of like music, a bit of dance, visual art, but like really heavily focused in visual. So that could be like painting, drawing, anything like that. Which is what I went to school for in university. And I found I was doing a lot of installation work, like sculptural stuff, like kinetic sort of moving installations, and found that they needed sound, and had always been a music buff, like had played several instruments sort of growing up, and always singing and writing as well. So the vocal aspect of it and like the structure kind of came later, but the project and the whole and the practice really for me started as more of an experimental thing, like very ambient, very kind of like soundscapey to go with environment and space, which I think still plays into kind of my style now. But yeah, it started as very much like an experimental art project and kind of bloomed into what it is now.
That's really cool.
That is.
I mean, I used to work at a fine art museum, so when you started talking installation and I was like, oh, take me back.
Yeah, exactly. It's like world creation, I guess, is how I always see it. Like that's always been what's drawn me to, or I guess been the thing that I am most drawn to in my art practices, is trying to create a sort of a world, really. Yeah.
Oh,
that's awesome. Yeah. So how would you describe your sound?
My description of my sound will vary depending on when you're asking me.
Right.
But, generally speaking, I would say that it is emotional. It's a bit at times irregular, a little left, a little offbeat, in like figuratively speaking, and always like aptly experimental, but really true to I guess like plot points within music history, like historical genres that I really, really was drawn to. So that would be like as present in my music currently, it would be anything from like pop and like 90s R&B, sort of in that range, to then trip hop and EDM, like drum and bass and house, like heavy sounds with a lot of softness and a lot of lightness as well. So I think that's like, yeah, I would say that my sound and my aesthetic both play into that sort of the light, dark, like hard, soft sort of balance.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So describe your creative process when you're like putting these things together, when you're making music.
It sort of depends. I would say my go-to is probably starting with either a melody that just comes to me on my own. I have 100,000,000 voice notes in my phone, as I'm sure every musician does, or writer or anything like that, really. And so it can be like a melody that hits me, like patterns of sounds, things like that. I've always been very much, if I were to really firmly play an instrument, I would say probably drums would be it for me. I love the drums, and I always loved poetry. And so like something about like pentameter, like rhythm to a melody and to a vocal and to like keeping structure, I guess, which is sort of how my ambient stuff came to be like more like structured, like genre-based music. So my process is kind of like honing that, figuring out like what's the groove, what's the vibe, what's the rhythm, what's the melodies, what are the notes, and then building off of that. And then it's just patterns really at that point. And so like it could start with a melody that I come up with. It could start with just a rhythm in itself. It could be like lyrical play, like word play, which is like more of a poetry background thing, like sounds together. It could usually is based off of music that I'm collaborating with, either with another artist or music that I've created on my own. So then it quickly becomes a two-part element thing and then builds from there.
That's so cool.
That is. Yeah.
That is.
Now, what would you say is the hardest part about being a musician?
The hardest part about being a musician, I would say it's funny because like it's kind of the hardest part, but then like low key secretly also the easiest part is kind of learning to not really care too much about what other people are thinking or about
Right.
like how you measure the success of a thing or whatever, you know, like maintaining I guess like integrity to the self. Very difficult at times because it is an industry that is like so commercial and so like yeah, there's, as opposed to other art forms, the money that is in it, it's very obvious that it's there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it drives people to make decisions in ways that are not always true to themselves. And I think that like just being hard and like firm on that can be very difficult, but it's also the most natural. So it's beautiful. It's like the whole process is like really just like affirmation of the self and like exploring the self.
That's neat because that kind of adds to your whole ambient vibe because you're on a journey trying to stay true to yourself. So that just even makes it more real.
Exactly. Yeah, totally.
Right. So you put a lot of like different types of like styles into your music. So what is like the one genre of music that you haven't gotten a chance to dabble in yet that you would like to?
Oh, country. I always thought I would make a great yeah, like country blues, yeah.
Oh, that would be cool. Okay,
yeah.
so that's your next project.
Yeah, no, it's so funny, yeah, that you asked that because that's actually like it's not even a back burner project, it's like a mid burner project. Like once I'm sort of finished rolling up this EP that I'm working on now, and then I have another thing to follow that. But I've been working with a collaborator of mine, Andrew Ferrier, on some production and writing, and we just together it's like a bit of like a powerhouse thing, and I'm really excited about it. So we're gonna release a country record.
Oh wow, okay, I can't
fun
wait
like
to hear
it's mostly
that.
just like in the voice note stage and playing around, but it's like I've always loved folk music and country and that, and like I think I'm going in, guys.
Okay, you guys heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how would you like to see your music evolve in the future?
In terms of how my music, I would like it to evolve. I would say just like an elaboration on and like a moreness of like sort of what it is, and then branching more into realms of like having like very experimental moments. I like to play a lot with structure, like song structure and unusual sounds, like whether that comes from like just sampling whatever in your environment or like manipulating some other thing, but just like kind of different, very spaced out, very like timing, very interesting experimental moments, because I've started to be a little more theatrical, I guess, in my performance, which has been a lot of fun. So there's a lot of dancers involved now, and like I have a full band, and there's a lot of room to sort of play and make it very showy. And I think that if I lean into the sort of more experimental, like weirder side, it could be really cool.
Oh, that does,
Yeah, that does sound cool.
Mm-hmm.
So like I know it's probably hard to pick, but what would you say is your favorite project so far?
Illusions, yeah, the one that's coming up for sure, which Venom, which is my latest release, the lead single off of that project. And it's sort of it's the most, I would say, curated and creatively like concise vision that I've had, that I've made sense of and executed in all directions of the project, which I'm really excited about. So like visuals to the music itself, to the types of other art mediums that I'm collaborating with, such as like dance, mostly like pole and chair and things like that. And so it's the most integrative, like most holistic baby that I've I would say. Yeah.
Right.
Very cool.
Yeah. So out of all the musicians in the world, who would you like to collab with the most and why?
FKA Twigs,
Oh,
probably.
that would be good.
I'm
Yeah, I
obsessed.
could see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Everything she touches, like in my opinion, is gold. I'm like, just take my card, it's yours. She's so
Exactly.
talented, and like her vision and her aesthetic, and her choices creatively. She's the type of artist that I feel, it's inspiring to me because she's very rounded. It's not just about the music; it's about all of these other things that she's doing, and I really respect that.
Yeah. I agree. And I
Mm.
think, okay, I'm throwing this out there, Jordana.
Yeah.
When you guys have that jam session, because I'm putting it out there in the
Oh, no.
atmosphere.
Yes, thank
You
you.
need somebody to come and bring you guys coffee.
Yeah, hell yeah. What?
I'm down.
Great. Fuck yeah. Like, let's do it. Let's do
Exactly. I'm down. You have my number. Give me a call.
it. Okay, let's go.
right.
More than coffee. Come on. No, you're in the booth.
Exactly. There you go.
All right. On that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break. But in the meantime, you guys will actually get to listen to Venom. So we'll be right back, guys.
We'll be right back.
You want it so bad. But still you fiercely doubt it. Wound up so tight, never out. Moved towards a deeper knowing. Stretch out my claws, so playful. Got you crawling closer each day. Crawling closer each day. Pluck out the needle in your heart that pulls you away. Come into my illusion. Step into my fire. Is a night for you to feel my venom deep inside you. Till you're mine, till then you cross my mind, darling. Till I can unravel your bind again. You want it so bad. Ain't no two ways about it. I'll hunch it back, open mouth. Bring it to a deeper learning. That mind, let me show you the way. Pluck out the needle in your heart, baby, I know your pain. So won't you come into my illusion, step into my fire. For all it takes
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Welcome back.
Alrighty, so Venom, where did you get the inspiration for this one?
So this song was okay. So interestingly enough, I guess, well, once in a while, I'm gonna tell you a little story. Once in a while, I take a trip to kind of wherever, and I just like to go off by myself, and I like to write. And so I'll go for anywhere from like 4 days to 2 weeks. I go to Mexico a lot. I like Montreal because I went to school there and I know the city well, and so it's cool to just go to a place that I love, that like I'm familiar with, and I just kind of do my thing.
Right.
And I went for and was writing this collection of songs with no like particular direction, but they ended up sort of morphing together, and they're kind of like the baby, like the root seed of Illusions, which is my upcoming project. And I was listening to only Sade at the time.
Oh wow.
But then like making this very kind of like trappy, like R&B pop music.
Right.
And then also processing a breakup that I hadn't processed from like a million years ago, that I was in Montreal when it happened. It was like one of the big heartbreaks, you know, like in your life.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, I never really planned it that way, but I was in Montreal and I was back there for the first time in a long time, and it was bringing up all these emotions, and I was listening to all this Sade, and then I had all these trap beats, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And I ended up writing like a collection of songs that I felt like when I wrote them, I was like, oh wow, like this is really, this is like something like this is kind of like hitting me in my heart and at the core of like my sound, and like, you know, honesty, vulnerability, in a very like self-isolated sort of creative moment. And so then that ended up sort of allowing for a lot of like very honest lyricism. And so Venom in particular, which is the lead single off the project and also the first song on the project, and it sort of runs through, the whole project runs through like cycles and various moments within a relationship or multiple relationships, depends on how you want to relate. But Venom is kind of that, it has a very self-aware sort of vibe, because I was there kind of just getting real with myself and like, you know, looking internally, and it's really about just like knowing when you're toxic, basically.
Right.
And like understanding like everyone's ability to be like, I guess, not always forthright, not always honest, not like malintended necessarily, but seductive, and all of these things that we have, that we can use, and you know, to wherever they lead us is whatever it is, but kind of just like really focusing on that like as a mechanism, and sort of the romance of that and the enticing aspect of that, and like the beauty of that, like you almost don't even notice the under, like the aftertaste, I guess, of what it is.
Right.
And so that's what Venom was. It was like this kind of sick, kind of like, oof, like hits you in your gut later type of feeling. And that's sort of what Venom was about, was just like just being very self-aware of like what are you really doing here with this person? Do you really want them? Are you really in it? Or are you just speaking nice words because you're having a fun time type of thing?
That's pretty, because I mean, it's kind of like the song and the artwork. It sets the mood.
Yeah, it sets
it
sets the
tone?
mood. Yeah,
it sets the mood for the project. I
Yeah.
mean, in my opinion,
In my
it's just
opinion,
like
it's
it
pretty
all
good.
comes
It all
together.
yes.
It has the
You said
80s
it
kind
right.
of like Sade vibe, but like a little dirtier.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, and I was just like, when I saw the artwork and the, you know, the different images, and then of course like listening to the project, I was like, oh, because I'm a very visual person.
Yeah,
So
I know you are.
yeah, it totally, I think the visuals for me made the album, or you know, the EP, it made it. So
I love that.
Yeah. So I'm telling you guys, you have to listen to the entire thing, look at the visuals, and then you'll get it.
I have a video coming out soon. Just gonna plug that real quick.
Oh,
But
there you go.
There we go.
Okay.
keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. Follow me on socials, please.
Oh, absolutely.
Alrighty, so let's get into the fun round of questions now.
I love the fun round.
Okay, so what is your favorite city and why?
My favorite city is Tokyo, and I've never been, but I just know it. And I wanted to go there my whole life.
I want to go
And,
there too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm dying. Like, I've always loved Japanese aesthetic. They're just like creatively, aesthetically, culturally, like the look, the smell, the taste. It's just, they get it. They nailed it. They've been nailing it. They're fine. And I want to go so bad.
Yeah, I'd love to go.
Exactly. I'm okay. Road trip, guys. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's drive.
Yeah.
Let's drive it through
Let's
an
drive.
ocean.
Why
We'll
not?
figure it
Across
out.
an
It's
ocean,
fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had to pack up and move to another country, where would you go?
I mean, like based on my last answer, probably Japan, realistically.
Right.
Just for fun, for
Yeah.
funsies. But in terms of places that I would like second choice after that, where would I go? Probably I'm a bit of like I'm like a casual hippie spiritualist, like not in like a super woo-woo kind of way, although I have my moment. But I'm sort of like I would be interested in exploring the vibe of like where's the most ancient place that I can go. I love mythology and classics and ancient history. I
I
studied
do
a lot of
too.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah, my thing was like a lot of like Egyptian and Greek. So like I
Yes.
would love to go to Egypt or to my family's Italian, so Italy. I'm like, whatever, Rome. But like
Right.
Greece or Egypt would be so cool, and like just to like get the vibration, you know what I mean, of like
Yeah.
That would be
of the land
Yeah.
and go somewhere really epic, like a place that I've read about from like a tale that I love. Like I would love
Yeah.
to do that.
That would be
I would
cool.
love to go to like Egypt or Greece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Okay, I'll go hang out with your family in Italy. So.
Let's go. I mean,
Yeah.
we shouldn't let them know because that's all we're gonna do, or we're rude. So that's just how it's gonna be. We
just
won't
show
tell
up.
them.
No, we'll just show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the first concert that you ever went to?
First concert that I considered a concert where I was like, oh, sick, this is gonna be so good, like big tickets, was Blink-182.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
It was so good. Like I'm obsessed with them still to this day. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure I found like what love and heartbreak felt like for the first time listening to Blink-182 at like 9 years old. And they're like singing about like house parties and beer. Like I don't know why it resonated, but it did. And
Yeah.
it just really worked for me. And so I had a big phase, an undying phase really, with that band. And yeah, so going to see them at the Molson Amphitheater in Toronto by the water, which is a sick venue. People don't give it enough credit. Like the lawn tickets there are amazing because you can see everything. They're the cheapest tickets. It's a great place. But yeah, no, I went there with a couple of my friends and we were just like young and awkward and weird. And I bought a t-shirt and it was the best. I loved it.
That sounds like
That sounds like a
a
great time. Yeah.
That
Yeah, it was great.
If you could travel back in time and meet anyone, who would it be?
Who would have That's funny you asked me that right now. So I like don't tell the cops. But I've recently taken in an orphaned baby raccoon and
Awesome.
I'm helping it out until we can find a better situation. But in the meantime, it's a lot of fun. And so I remember when I found her, it was like maybe a week ago. So it's kind of fresh. I'm a fresh raccoon mama. And she was like this tiny little thing. She was like so skinny and she was like looked like a little rat. And my partner at the time said that she looked like Splinter from Ninja Turtles.
No.
Yeah, like I don't know if you watched the live action ones.
Yes.
From back in the
that
day.
one.
Yeah. But it's like it was so jokes. He pulls up his phone, he shows me this photo. I'm like, that's literally the exact animal that we're looking at. So I named her Splinter for a moment, and then I was like, that's not the vibe, but I will keep in line with the turtles vibe. And so I've named her Raphael.
Oh, that's cute.
Which is cute. Yeah, I call her Riff Raff, and she's being naughty. And she kind of like is just this funny character in my life now. And Raphael like is a classical artist, and so I'm just like, maybe I'll just go meet him, see what's up. Like, what's the
There
vibe?
you go.
There you go.
There you go. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I mean, I just love that story. Okay, so don't tell the cops. I mean, any story that starts
Starts with
off
that.
with
It
don't
went a
tell-
lot of
it's gonna
places.
be
Yeah.
Okay. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Flight, always.
That would be
Oh,
fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah, it's like it's simple. It's kind of the obvious one, but like I'm sort of like a bit of an astral projector. More when I was younger, I guess, when I was a kid. But in my dream states and stuff like that, like flying was a big part of it, like very, very present. And the feeling of it, I'm very just familiar with, and it's like total freedom. So I would do that for sure.
Oh, that sounds cool.
That sounds cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
We haven't ever had anyone say flying. So that's
Actually,
pretty neat.
no,
right?
yeah.
No.
What's the
I
most
might-
common one? I'm curious.
It's
Yeah.
teleportation usually.
Yeah, usually teleportation.
That's just lazy flying. No. No, you don't enjoy the scenic route. You're not here for the party. I don't
There
know.
you go.
Right. All right. Would you rather read a book or just watch the film adaptation?
I mean, I want to read the book,
Right.
but will I?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
like I used to read the books, and now I don't. So
There
yeah,
you
I'd
go.
There
rather
we
just
go.
watch the film.
Yeah.
There
I'm
you
the same
go.
way.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, I'm the geek. I would love to read the book first and then watch the movie because I want to see if they nailed it.
Fair enough.
Attention to detail. Respect
Yep.
that.
All right. If you could only take 5 things to Desert Island, what would they be?
They would be Raphael the Raccoon. No, she shouldn't come to this. They would be not. I'm choosing non-essential things because otherwise it's going to be boring. So they would be a fountain,
Okay.
a Greek fountain, carved marble fountain. They would be some palm trees, probably.
Okay.
They're already there, I guess. Never mind. So we have the fountain, and like a bunch of like fruit, tropical fruit everywhere, like in a shaded area. I would do that. I would have a projector screen with like not even necessarily maybe some movies, but also just like vibes, like visuals.
Right.
That's cool.
So that's 3. 4 would be, I'm gonna cram these in and cheat my whole music setup just so that I have
Okay.
that there. And a floor that is not sand so that I can dance.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
That is
that is unique.
that
Yeah.
is the best answer to this question.
Yeah.
Hands
Great.
Okay. If you could trade places with anyone for the day, who would it be?
Anyone for the day. It's always gonna come back to the raccoon, so I'm gonna change it. It's gonna be maybe I don't know, part of the royal family, because that must be so weird.
It
Like,
must
who are you?
I mean, can you imagine just being a royal?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would seem
That would
very weird.
Seem very weird.
Yeah.
I think I would have to
Gross
opt out.
almost.
Yeah.
What
I
are
would
you
have
guys doing?
opt
Yeah.
out.
Why are you out there?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that would be kind of neat to
For
see
a
the
day.
inside
Yeah.
for a day.
Yeah, it would be.
It would just be confusing. Like, I feel like I would be like intel, like, but like for no one. It would just be for me. And I'm just there and I'm like observing how like bizarre they are and how they make their
Right.
choices and like what they do in a
Exactly.
day. And I'm like, this is strange.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
that would be good.
That would.
That's a good answer. I don't know, Jordana. I think I'm gonna have to go with my dog. I mean,
Yeah,
he
the
just,
dog.
Yeah, he just his life is like stellar.
What kind
Yeah.
of dog do you have?
He's
Toy
a
poodle.
toy poodle.
Oh, I used to have a toy Shih Tzu. I had a Shih Tzu. I had a toy Shih Tzu or toy poodle and Shih Tzu mix. I have a
that's so
French
cute.
bulldog
That's so
right now
cute.
with my boyfriend. Yeah, but
See,
Yeah.
I mean, they just
Dogs
like
just-
they have it so good.
They do.
it's a good life. Yeah, like sweaters and treats. Like, you can't be mad at that.
You can't
Yeah.
exactly sleep all day,
Yeah.
wake up, get some belly rubs, and
Yeah.
go back to sleep. I'm down.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right. If you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would that be?
What would that be? It would probably be mangoes.
Mangoes.
Ooh.
Why mangoes?
Yeah. Because they're so delicious and fun. And I would say that I never feel more animal, like more like human animal than I do when I'm like voraciously eating a mango over a steak and no one's watching.
Right.
And I'm like chewing on like the stone in the middle, like and like it's like dripping down to my elbows. Like that's living. So
That's
Yeah.
that's enjoying a mango.
Yeah, that is. All right. What would you say is your favorite song of all time?
Oh wow. Favorite song of all time. Almost boring, but only because it hits me in the heart so bad, is maybe Moon River, when Audrey Hepburn sings it in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh wow.
That recording, yeah, is like really like meaningful to me. So maybe that, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a good song.
That's a good.
That's a
yeah.
great movie too.
Yeah.
That's a good one, yeah.
All righty. You have one person to give a shout out to. So who is it?
That would be Truly. So that's yours truly. He's a producer in Toronto and one of my great friends and somebody that I have worked with quite a lot with. He produced every song on Illusions, including Venom. And he's a good friend and a great collaborator. And I'm like, yeah, we just met like through the circle, like Toronto music scene, like friends, whatever. But our styles really clicked, and it's just been a really valuable friendship and creative friendship. And I'm really excited to be releasing this project with all of his music, because he's a really talented guy. So happy about that. That's yours truly in Toronto. URSTRULI, producer in Toronto.
All right.
Awesome.
So what is the one piece of advice you would give to people who want to be in the music industry?
Just like go do it. Just do it. Like if anyone's saying like take your time and like don't rush it and like nah, like maybe that's not bad advice necessarily, but if like you in your gut feel like you just want to like rip and like you just want to make a ton of stuff and just put it out, like that's a big thing too. Like put your music out. First of all, this isn't meant in a rude way, but no one cares. Like you're lucky if anyone's listening to your music, period. And that's just how it's going to be to start. And like to think that it's going to be different is like you're hurting yourself. There's no need for that. So just have fun with it and just put it out and just get used to it and just keep it up. Yeah.
That's awesome advice.
That's great advice. All right. So in addition to all that you have going on, what's next for you?
What's next for me is this show that we just did was so beautiful. It was like the closest thing to my creative vision, I would say, to date that I've performed live. So I really want to build on that and sort of bring this upcoming project and then also my next project very much into that realm and like continue to flesh out that aesthetic. So what we sort of built is I'll be posting it to my Instagram. If anybody follows me, you'll be seeing some footage of that soon. But it was just a beautiful like hijinks production that we managed to pull together just because I very luckily have some very like amazing talented friends. And yeah, we had a band, we had all of my music coming up. It was me, like a few girls from my dance studio. So we had pole, we had chair, we had some floor, like just like a lot of choreographed moments, a lot of very loose moments, multi-layered. Like we played on the stage and then the pole was like this intermediary sort of space. And then we had the space in front of the stage. This was at the Elma Combo in Toronto, just last week on Friday. And just the levels of it and it was just theatrical. It was like really like a production. And I was so proud of everyone and so pleased with how everything went. Like the turnout was amazing. It was a super fun party. So I really want to focus a lot and like push more on that and getting like the sort of, I guess what I was saying earlier about like the multimedia, like holistic approach to this project and getting that really happening in a live setting, which is I think where it's going to thrive the most and like read and have a lot of impact. Yeah.
Oh, that's going to sound awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
What is the one thing that you want our audience to know about you?
One thing I want the audience to know about me is that I guess like when I listen and write music, I'm being very I'm super emotional. I'm a double Cancer. So I'm a moon and sun in Cancer.
Wow.
Which is crazy. It's a lot. And so like I feel like really, really intensely and really deeply. And I try to express that as best as I can through my music. Whether or not that hits for other people, I don't know. That's kind of like at a certain point stops being my business. But like I would like for the people who receive my music and who hear it to know that it comes from a real and from a genuine place. And that I've worked really hard in my life to kind of be where I am. Like I didn't like, and I don't really like, I don't have like external factors that are like funding my stuff or like supporting this or supporting that. Like I've been working my whole life and I just like, just push and push at everything that I love to do. And it really matters to me. And I just hope that like that heart and that hustle and like the emotion really like comes through to whoever it does. If that's 3 people, sick. Love those 3 people. That's amazing. So anything as long as it like is like sort of felt for real is what I'm hoping for.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be like you when I grow up. That like perfect answer there. Wow.
Thanks.
Last question. Where can people find you on social media?
On socials, my main platform, I guess, is Instagram because I'm not the best at cross posting my stuff. But yeah, Instagram. My handle across the board is Jordana of Earth, all one word, lowercase. So that's JORDANAOFEARTH, Earth, like planet Earth. And so that goes for Instagram, that goes for Twitter, which is not Twitter anymore. I think it's called X. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then there's Threads, which is like Instagram, Twitter. I don't know. But there's that. There's sometimes Snapchat if I'm like feeling cool. Like, I don't know. Mostly Instagram. Instagram and like any music streaming stuff. Like you can also hit me there. Like you'll have links to all my stuff there. And like, yeah, I'm around.
Alrighty,
So
Jordana. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so
for coming.
much.
You're gonna have to come back when you get all of your stuff going, and we want to hear more.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Did you guys enjoy the show? I know we did. Thanks to Jordana for joining us today. Make sure to check out her music and social media. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.